Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. KTV walks into the wrong room and treats young me as a princess. Feeling disappointed in the romantic scene, Sili went alone to a bar-style business KTV, ready to vent his frustration by touching and singing. But unintentionally, young me and a group of top-tier actresses who came here to celebrate their birthday were treated like wine accompanying princesses, and their hands were used to make the 800 yuan flower worth it. Ding. System binding successful, obtaining soul voice. Sili used a song, Just Love You Too Much, to directly sing these top-tier actresses. Young me hiss, I'm really lucky. Tang Yan. It's also amazingReba. I can't stand up anymore, my legs are crispy. Qiwei. I'm muddy that night. Sili experienced Zhao Yun 7 in and 7 out battles. The next day, I looked at the familiar princesses beside me. After a moment, he decided go to Temeow's love. Kidney walking. In the future, we must go through the kidneys. Later, with the broadcast of a music variety show. Sili is within the circleFeilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 001. Tip starting from 800. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 10 p.m. at night. Magic City, Golden Bund Bar. In the center of the dance floor on the first floor, countless energetic men and women are swaying wildly, frantically. 857. At the same time in VIP room 999 on the second floor, with a bang, Sili opened the 7th bottle of Spade champagne. Then he lifted the bottle high and poured all the liquid in the bottle onto his head. From time to time, I would also look up and open my mouth to catch some. He couldn't help but frown. This champagne is really too spicy. This champagne, how does it have the same taste as brandy? Although he knew he was a bit confused after drinking, he didn't have the slightest intention of stopping. Still pouring it into my mouth like this. Because of his heart, it hurts too much. Sili and his girlfriend fell in love during their college years. At that time, both of them were students at the Magic City Conservatory of Music, with Sili majoring in arrangement and his girlfriend in vocal music. Before graduation, the two of them held hands and made a beautiful promise by the lake. One in front of the stage and one behind the scenes, they complement each other until forever. But today, just as Sili was holding the money he had saved up and happily preparing to tell her that the money was enough when she had the money to create her own album, break up, Sili. It's been 8 years now. I really don't want to be in this small room with you, singing a broken folk song in the live broadcast room that I'm about to vomit. I feel like I'm suffocating under your control. Yesterday, Zhao Yun Company signed a contract with me and they will arrange for me to audition and debut. I don't have a second 8 years of energy consumption left. People are all selfish, don't blame me. The crisp and ethereal sound, originally like that of a lark, was like a devil's machete, fiercely piercing into Sili's heart at that moment. Sili really didn't expect it. 8 years of effort, but only the last sentence can be exchanged. Oh, my little brother. This scene stunned the female manager who had just pushed the door in. Eyes almost fell out of their sockets. Although he has read countless people, he has also seen people who take money without proper consideration. But here comes an 80,000 yuan divine dragon set. You drink 1 bottle, 5 bottles to wash your hands, not to mention now I wash my hair directly with Louis XVI. This scene, he's really seeing me for the first time. Hurry up and try to stop it, brother, don't. Don't. Although Sili was confused, his consciousness was still very clear. The princess hasn't come yet. Immediately. Brother, it's coming soon. The female manager flattered as she wiped Sili's clothes with a tissue. I just brought in 6 or 7 from outside, and I'll call over to let brother choose first. That's the tip. It starts at 800, and there are 2 others starting at 5,000. Sitting on the sofa, Sili turned his head and stared into the eyes of the female manager, saying word by word, I want everything. Ah. The female manager was taken aback. Afraid I won't be able to afford it. Sili frowned. Brother. That's not what I meant. Not waiting for the female manager to finish speaking. Sili took out a bank card from his pocket and slapped it on the table. 1 million. No password. Charge me. This money is the money he secretly saved up after 8 years of hard work to prepare for his girlfriend to make an album. It is also his entire family background. But now Ding, Tianming entertainment system has been bound and is currently being activated. 10%. 25%. 69%. 95%. Ding. System activation successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the activated golden egg. Do you want to smash the egg at this moment? Sili, who was originally conscious, was completely confused after a few bites of Louis XVI. I have no idea what the sound that appears in his mind is. But he understood the final golden egg. Charging a 1 million card is different, there is also a golden egg smash. Smash. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining. Soul-level emotions brought into the voice, congratulations to the host for obtaining. Hall-level singing skills information balance correction successful. What? What and what? What's all this getting? What is this? Sili was confused and thought that the reward he received was for recharging and smashing golden eggs at the bar. No matter what. Love, no matter what. With this thought in mind, he stood up unsteadily and walked towards the restroom in the corner of the private room. Brother. The female manager saw this and quickly stood up to help. The restroom door in our private room is broken. I'll have someone help you go outside. Then let's sign on the card swiping receipt by the way. The door of the restroom is not broken at all. The reason why the female manager said this is because of this last sentence. After all, there were also many people who woke up the next day and defaulted on their debts, new book revision and release, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking monthly tickets. Seeking data support, absolutely satisfying article. Chapter 002. Not only do I want to have a meaty drink, but I also want to sleep. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time. On the other side, in the VIP 666 private room. Cut your throat. 6 or 7 women sat around the coffee table, holding their glasses high. Their faces were all slightly flushed with drunkenness. It's obvious that I've had countless drinks. Woohoo, cheers. Happy birthday to Mimi. Happy birthday, Miss Me. The woman sitting in position C is wearing a birthday hat, a short denim jacket on top, and a camisole underneath. Her slender legs are tightly wrapped in a black Parisian family. It is precisely the top of the entertainment industry today, Yang Mi. Thank my sisters for coming to celebrate my birthday. Then I'll do it first as a gesture of respect. The women sitting around the tea table are all sisters in her circle. Yang Mi. Qiwei looked at the glass that Yang Mi put down after taking a sip. Do you want to raise fish? I just drank a little too much, not even a bottle of foreign wine per person. Sitting next to Qiwei, Teacher Lu's face turned red and he gave a sly smile. Honey, are you asking us to respect you one by one? Tang Yan. You and Reba are the best at stealing alcohol. You two have another one with honey. TSK. Qin Lan, who was clearly overwhelmed with alcohol, stood up slightly stumbled and raised his eyebrows to look at Yang Mi across from him. Then he bit his lips and looked around the women, propping his hands on the coffee table. I don't think Honey wants to drink vegetarian food. After speaking, she looked at Qiwei and Tang Yan with a teasing expression on her face. Tell me about our team. I don't know if you can give us some fresh meat or something like little wolf dog. Such a naive situation, she doesn't have the heart to drink. Ouch. Qiwei suddenly patted her forehead and then gave Tang Yan a glance. Tang, you said we should handle this together. She has no intention of drinking at the meat gathering. Tang Yan was about to speak, but was interrupted by Yang Mi's voice. Hey, okay. What are you doing now? Full men don't know if hungry men are hungry, are they? Yang Mi's pretty face was full of disdain. You guys are all full. She didn't notice that when she said this, all the married sisters in the audience saw a flash of color. I just wanted to have a meaty drink today. I have been suppressing myself for too long, and with the influence of alcohol, Yang Mi also wants to indulge once. Not only do I want to drink something meaty, but I also want to sleep something meaty. After saying these words, she stood up and walked towards the bathroom with small steps. Wait. I'll call a little wolf dog later. Oh my, you can handle it. Qiwei joked, don't just talk about it. If you don't call later, we'll call you. As soon as the words fell, all the women laughed. Ha 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 dot. Wah ha dot. Yang Mi turned her back to them, raised her little hand, and raised a middle finger. Yo. Qiwei saw that Yang Mi dared to give her a middle finger, and she suddenly became very angry. Red sister, did you hear me? Qiwei turned her head to look at the two female bodyguards in suits at the entrance of the private room. If a man comes in later, let's not stop him. Don't ruin our honey's good fortune. They are good sisters and know each other well. Yang Mi has been arguing many times since her divorce, saying she wants to keep a little wolf dog for herself. What about the outcome? It's just about showing off in your mouth. After seeing Yang Mi enter the bathroom, Teacher Lu sneered, all right, don't care about her, just talk nonsense every day. As he spoke, he picked up the whiskey on the table and said, come on, hurry up and fill it all up for me. Continue. No one wants to run today. Brother. Please slow down. Second floor bar counter. The expression on the female manager's face could no longer be described as flattery, just a moment. Not to mention the 200,000 yuan commission for the card application. Just this face of Sili makes her want to tear him apart. And with countless dates, how could she not tell that the man in front of her was having emotional issues? This makes her exclaim even more that it's a waste. I don't know which woman it is, so I don't know how to cherish it, although I think so in my heart. But there is no hesitation in swiping the card with your hands. Nightclub women, their main focus is on reality. With a swipe of his pen, Sili signed his name on the card receipt. The heart that the female manager has been carrying all along has finally settled. Get the commission. Have a good look at a used BMW 5 Series and pick it up tomorrow. Shaoli, please help our brother back to the private room first. She said to a newly hired waiter next to her, remember it's the hallway on the left, 999 private room. Brother, the princess is already in place. The female manager stepped forward and took Sili's arm. I'll have someone take you back first. I'll handle the matter later. I'll go drink with you. Although Sili couldn't bear to drink, he couldn't tell that he had drunk too much. But his actual consciousness is a bit unclear. I heard the most crucial sentence, the princess is already in place. Have you all arrived? Let's go. New book revision and release, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking monthly tickets. Seeking data support, absolutely satisfying article. Chapter 003, I went to the wrong room. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the entrance of the private room. Arrived brother. Shaoli pointed to the door number. Sili struggled to control his body and stood up. Alright, hurry up and go. I'm not. It's okay. Although it can be heard that the guest in front of him is already speaking fluently, as a waiter, Shaoli can only follow the guest and say, alright, brother, please take your time. Sili nodded and pushed open the door, taking a step inside. After the door closes, Shaoli then held down his earphone and said, someone from the engineering department, the screw on the door plate of the 999 private room has come off. Yoha! This batch of quality is good. As soon as Sili entered the private room, his gaze was immediately drawn to the several princesses on the sofa across from him. It has to be said. It looks like it was just transferred from outside. It doesn't seem like a nightclub princess at all. Everyone is wearing private clothes. A sporty style with sportswear, a casual style with a worn-out denim outfit, a mature style with a fiery red dress, a top-tier lady with short hair, and a sarcastic style. There is an exotic atmosphere full of waves. Although the distance was far and he was also very confused, Sili could still feel the beauty of this group of princesses, and that was definitely something to choose from. And not only their appearance, but also their physique is top-notch. No wonder there's a tip of 5,000. After regaining his senses, Sili nodded at the two managers standing at the door and walked towards the sofa. Little did they know that the princesses sitting on the sofa saw him come in. They were all staring big and small, their faces full of shock. Nest. Qiwei blurted out, "Did you really have fun this time?" "I'll knock, won't you talk this time?" Tang Yan also blinked. "It seems like it's not from the circle, right?" Rebe was curious. "My honey sister's efficiency is too fast, isn't it?" Watching the little wolf dog getting closer and closer, Qin Lan's eyes became slightly blurred as she regained consciousness. "Alright, stop it all. Leave some face for honey later, don't mention the little wolf dog. How should we play?" That's right, that's right." Lu Shishir nodded in agreement. "She's celebrating her birthday, she's the oldest." Because there was background music playing in the private room, coupled with Sleben drinking too much, I didn't hear these princesses muttering something. At this point, he had already walked to the sofa, crossed over the two princesses, and sat in the middle position. Not waiting for him to seriously scrutinize. The door to the bathroom has opened. A sexy woman wearing a white vest, revealing a deep career line, and stepping on patent leather with high roots walked out. Sili looked up. Hiss, it has to be said. Still the powerful Balenciaga family. At this moment, Yang Mi also noticed that Sili was sitting in her original position. She's also a question mark. What situation is this? I just fired a mouthful, why did I really call myself a little wolf dog? With this thought in mind, she even glared at Qiwei, who was teasing her at the moment. Because in Yang Mi's heart, she had already determined that the person must have been called by Qiwei. But this gaze was in Qiwei's eyes. That would turn into a blatant show-off look. I'm not talking nonsense this time, am I? This has infuriated Qiwei. Still putting that pride aside. Immediately, he said, hurry up and sit down. Our leader has returned, please take good care of him. The last sentence was spoken to Sili. However, Sili, who was obsessed with 5 things, took Qiwei's words as a compliment from the princess to her gold lord. Immediately, she raised her hand and patted her side, gesturing for Yang Mi to sit over. Come on, come on. After speaking, he lifted his hand and untied the top few collar buttons of his shirt. Looking at the faintly visible chest muscles, the women's eyebrows jumped one after another. This beauty, this figure, this magnetic voice, excellent. Just like them. At this moment, Sili, who had 5 mysteries and 3 paths, also had 2 words in his mind. It's worth it. And by this time, Yang Mi had already been completely pushed onto the shelves. She really didn't expect that Qiwei's hooves could actually find a little wolf dog for her. I was just talking at this moment, she followed Qiwei's words and then looked at Sili. Clean and neat short hair, sharp-edged face, paired with deep facial features, and the towering chest muscles in the shirt. It has to be said. Sisters still knows her own. Whether it's from appearance to body shape, or anything else, it perfectly fits one's own aesthetic. I just don't know in that regard. Hiss. With all this thought, Yang Mi had already walked to the inside of the coffee table with her small feet and stood next to Sili. However, it hasn't stood firm yet. Pop. Young Mi felt like someone had slapped her buttocks. P.S. New book release, Seeking Flowers, Seeking Review Tickets, Monthly Tickets. Chapter 004. Role Swap. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This unexpected moment made young Mi couldn't help but whimper. MMM. A group of sisters can see the smile in each other's eyes when they look at each other. After young Mi regained her senses, her pretty face couldn't help but turn red. It's not that she can't let go or play. But in the face of so many sisters, I let the little wolf dog molest me. Isn't this a loss for adults? But now if she were to take the initiative, she wouldn't know what to do. After all, to be honest, I have practiced this aspect myself still almost. If the verbal skills are still good, what should we do now? Just when Yang Mi didn't know what to do, Sili spoke up. He lifted his hand again and lightly patted Yang Mi's buttocks twice. You sit down first. Do we drink literature or martial arts? White. Foreign. Beer red. As Sili spoke, he gently pulled Yang Mi into his arms and let her sit on his lap. Her hands naturally wrapped around her body and reached out to roll up her sleeves. Yang Mi is confused. At this moment, sitting on Sili's lap, her brain suddenly crashed. She always feels like she doesn't know where it is. There's a little bit of something wrong. How do you feel like you've switched roles with him? Where did Chiga find this little wolf dog to accompany the wine from? This is too. I can't say it's unrestrained. It should be said to be natural. Yes, that's right. I can only say that this series of actions is so natural. It's so natural, especially the action of pulling oneself onto his lap just now. Did you actually feel a kind of indulgence that only exists between lovers? Seems like he's the little woman he's protecting. And you should know that women in this room can cause a sensation no matter where they are placed. But how could this man be so natural? And this figure. This muscle. This beauty. This voice. This. As soon as she thought of this, she couldn't help but look at Qiwei. She really wants to ask where she got it from. But before she could continue thinking, a magnetic voice rang in her ear. Rolling dice. Bullying and lying. Or do we have to go all out? Speaking of which, Sili surprisingly picked up the glass filled with whiskey in front of him and looked around the women. How about we save some trouble and start with 3 drinks per person? If you're not drunk, then this little tip will be boring. At this time, other women besides Yang Mi also had the same thoughts as Yang Mi. That's where did Yang Mi find such a top-notch product? Handsome and with a good figure. What do you want, and your emotional intelligence is still so high. I'm not embarrassed at all, let alone unable to move my eyes just because I saw a group of celebrities like myself. On the contrary, from entering the door, everything is as natural as meeting old friends. And the natural demeanor and movements when I hugged Yang Mi just now. Even more, it made Qiwei wonder if they had an affair before. Especially with Yang Mi's flaunting gaze at this moment. Just when Qiwei also came up with the idea of questioning Yang Mi. Next second Sili's move made them all look foolish. I saw Sili holding a wine glass in his left hand and standing up from the sofa with his right hand wrapped around Yang Mi in his arms. The final performance after drinking. Putting down such a sentence, Sili immediately raised his glass and looked up, taking a few sips to finish the wine in his glass. But because I drank too fast. A lot of wine also flowed from the corner of his mouth to his chest this time. Even though there was background music playing in the private room, all the women could hear each other swallowing saliva. Among them, Qin Lan, Qiwei, and Tang Yan are the most obvious. But Reba and Teacher Lu are not doing much better either. Qin Lan, whose eyes were already blurred, made no effort to conceal it even more with the strength of the wine at this moment. Her gaze at Sili was already completely drawn. But when it comes to reactions, Yang Mi, who is being held by Sili with one hand, is the largest one. At this moment he still doesn't know that his approach fully showcases male hormones. I don't even know that my actions have already made the princess in my arms swallow me alive just by looking at me. In the lobby of the first floor. As a strong drumbeat began, several spotlights also rotated simultaneously. This is a classic program here. Gold Award. The last table of guests locked in by the spotlight. No matter how much you spend that night, all will receive a free ticket. At the same time, you can also request songs for singers to sing to you. If you have enough confidence, you can also sing on stage by yourself. Of course, the results are all predetermined. Either they are related customers or some regular customers. I understand everything I know after all, this is just an attractive gimmick. And tonight's golden prize has naturally been predetermined. The winner will be VIP room 666. Because the owner of this bar is called Qi. It's Qiwei's cousin. Chapter 005. The Essence of Touching and Singing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the other side. After drinking a few strong whiskeys, the atmosphere has completely changed. The women originally drank quite a bit, plus the 2 glasses of wine that Sili just led. Everyone is starting to release their true selves. Oh. He drinks the slowest. Reba kept tapping her glass on the table, the slowest performance he drinks. At this moment, Qiwei, dressed in a fiery red dress, had already left her original position and sat directly on the other side of Sili. The whole person was almost lying on top of him. Still holding a wine glass in his hand, pouring wine into his mouth. Come on, hurry up and let me touch your abdominal muscles. Qin Lan, sitting next to Qiwei, stepped over her and directly wiped her hands. At this moment, Sili once again experienced the value of today's card recharge. After swallowing the last sip of wine, Sili turned his head to look at the princess in front of him, who had revealed a profound career path. Holding her small head with her hand, she directly imprinted it on those red lips. It's the essence of touching and singing. Yang Mi's brain has completely crashed. I don't even know when to resist. Instead, he responded as if he could. After seeing the scene before them, the women had no intention of stopping it. Because in their eyes, Yang Mi and this man are definitely not the first time. Tisk. Tang Yan kept shaking her head. This hoof. How deeply hidden. That's to say. Reba pouted, I didn't even know she had such a side. Qin Lan was envious and said, I also want to raise someone so handsome. Then try your best. Qiwei teased after listening, can't we discuss with Mimi and give him to you? Qin Lan coquettishly said, I see you're quite greedy. No problem. Lu Shishir clapped his hands and said, seventh brother and her family have long been in name only. Do you think she can stop being greedy? You're still talking about me. You're not. Suddenly. The private door has been opened. A sexy woman with a somewhat imaginary appearance walked in. Faced with the chaotic scene before her, the woman showed no reaction at all. He has a completely normal appearance. She walked up to Qiwei and said, Sister, everything has been arranged. Starting now. Upon hearing her sister's words, Qiwei also reflected for a while before realizing what she wanted to do. So he nodded and said, just start now, Chi. After speaking, she looked at the man next to her and thought of something. Quietly leaned in Chi's ear and said a few words. Okay. Chi nodded and raised the walkie-talkie in her hand, saying something as she turned around and walked out of the private room. And Qiwei picked up the microphone on the other side of the table and looked at Yang Mi and Sili, who had just separated. Have you two finished drinking the imported wine? How about performing a program? As Qiwei's words fell, the curtain hanging on the wall on the right side of the private room was suddenly pulled open. Immediately after, a huge single transparent glass wall appeared in everyone's eyes. Outside the single transparent glass wall, there is a semi-circular platform covered by transparent tempered glass. That's right. This is the biggest feature of the Golden Bund. As long as you stand on that platform, you can enjoy the feeling of being as high as an emperor. In the lobby of the first floor, everyone will involuntarily look up at you. Of course, the women in the private room showed no reaction, not even a hint of ripples in their eyes. After all, this scene is really insignificant for these top women in the entertainment industry. But for Sili, that was quite shocking at this point. A spotlight has already shone on the platform. Everyone is also waiting for today's Gold Award winner to stand out and have a heartfelt speech. Previous winners of the Gold Award, including those who proposed, and those who begged their grandparents. But if the recipient is someone sitting in a VIP private room, that's without exception, all the benefits are uniform. For example, the welfare of having a certain young master pay for the entire consumption. That's why. At this moment, everyone in the first floor lobby is looking up at the platform pointed by the spotlight. The host also constantly uses their own language to drive the atmosphere inside the venue. This scene was decided by Qiwei on a whim just now. And the person she targets is naturally the only person in the entire private room who can stand on the platform except for the bodyguard, Sili. As for her purpose, it's hard to say. Just from her sly smile at this moment looking at the scene before him, Sili felt that the money was worth it. In a daze he heard someone around him coaxing him to perform a performance. Performance programs. Okay. Then I'll sing a song for you to listen to. Take a look. This spotlight. This feeling. This treatment. Is this something you can enjoy without recharging your card? Charge card. Hey. Why did you recharge your card yourself? Hiss yes. I remember. I was dumped by someone. On the first day, we request the support of flower evaluation votes, and kindly ask all ancestors to take action. Chapter 006 Qiwei. I asked Yang Mi's little wolf dog to. You are listening at novel full.audio. Sili, who was already drunk, suddenly remembered why he came here. Why did you get so drunk? At this moment, he was slightly more sober and looked at the seductive princess he was holding. You, exclaimed out of nowhere, you said my next life. Can I still meet you again? After saying these words, Sili picked up the microphone handed over by Qiwei. And he also reached out and hugged Qiwei's waist, turning his head to kiss her red lips heavily. Then he stood up and walked unsteadily to the front of the single transparent glass wall. With the last bit of clarity, he opened the door lock and walked to the platform to stand still. In the lobby on the first floor, applause erupted like a concert. Whistles, screams, shouts, and cheers all rang out for a moment. Who is this young man today? Who knows him? How handsome I am, who knows me? I feel like I don't have to spend any money today. Really, I'm definitely the one who pays for the whole house. At this point, the host standing on the first floor stage began to guide some questions as usual. It seems that today's winner of the Gold Award is definitely deserving of his reputation. In terms of his appearance alone, it's none other than him. As soon as the words fell, a large chorus echoed in an instant. After all, everyone is waiting for today's winner to receive benefits. Although I have drunk a lot, there are also very sober ones. Okay, host. Let's take a look at today's award winners. Do you have anything to say? In a moment in the hall, it quieted down. Click click click. 3 more spotlights are on. Shined on Sili's body. At this point, Sili, who had already fully listened, only caught a few keywords. Grand prize winner, is there anything I want to say? Winning a prize. I used to smash eggs myself, right? That's because I won the prize myself. What did you say? Thinking of this, Sili raised the microphone in his hand. I have nothing to say. I just want to sing a song. In the private room. Yang Mi was stunned. Isn't it? What about it? What does that mean? Isn't this the little wolf dog I found for myself? Just now she was pondering what the words in this male population meant. He's such a little wolf dog, why is he still playing with deep affection? And then I turned my head and the rain and dew were evenly distributed, right? Compared to Yang-mi, Qiwei was not much better at this time. He also has a bewildered expression on his face. What? What was the situation just now? Did my mother let Yang-mi's little wolf dog force a kiss? But as soon as she thought of this, she didn't care about anything else and quickly looked at Yang-mi. Hurry up and explain. When will it happen between you two? Who two? Yang-mi was confused. When did it happen? I haven't finished speaking yet. A sound that struck directly at the soul was transmitted through the sound system to the private room. Forgive me for really getting drunk. Because I really miss you. I was accidentally lonely, devouring the joy of loving you. Listening to this song, a layer of goosebumps instantly appeared on Yang-mi's body. Everyone else is the same behind the stage. The keyboardist's eyes immediately burst into a bright light. Directly facing the CUE microphone and speaking rapidly to the other members of the band, he said, "Can you all hear me? This person can sing, flat B key, and later on, you follow me on the basic rhythm of the military drum. Just improvise with the guitar bass. Do you all quite understand? Guitarist. Got it. Bassist. Got it. Keyboard. Pay attention, come. Go." As soon as the second line of the lyrics was spoken by Sili. "I know this shouldn't be done. I also know you will be hurt. The impromptu accompaniment of the keyboard also came in response. "I just don't want to make myself too dependent on you anymore. I understand the love you give is real. I just don't know how to love. Only then will you want to leave. The people in the lobby on the first floor were already shocked. Hall-level singing skills, combined with soul-level emotions that bring into the voice. Even if no one recognizes Sili, no one has ever heard this song. It can also make people fully feel the extreme sadness carried by the voice of Sili." On the second floor platform, Sili holds the microphone in his hand. With his eyes slightly closed, his thoughts returned to this afternoon as he ran towards his girlfriend with his bank card. But she suggested to herself when she broke up. "Because I don't know. Will I ever meet you again in my next life. That's why I will only work so hard in this life. Give you the best. When he reached this line, Sili didn't know what was going on in his heart. He felt like he had really let go. It seems like everything is not that important anymore. Indeed, he has asked himself countless times whether he is crazy. "I can't bear to eat or wear, but I have to save money for her to fulfill her dreams." At that time, he had already come to a conclusion: he's crazy. But he is definitely not stupid himself. Because he believes in the value he has put in. "Even if I love you, it turns into hurting you. Our love is about to suffocate. It's not intentional. I just love you too much. Oh. However, at this moment, all the women in the private room were staring blankly at Sili. P.S. New book release, Seeking Flowers, Seeking Review Tickets, Monthly Tickets. Chapter 007. Short-haired women can also be sexy and cute. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Sounds good. No, we can't just describe it as beautiful. Although none of the women in the private room are clear-headed. But the resonance from the depths of the soul has no impact at all. Especially Qiwei. Because only she and Yang-mi have sung together here. But it's different from Yang-mi. Yang-mi runs the tune. She is a serious professional singer. What she listens to is not only the emotions in this song, but also the helplessness and powerlessness, and there is also the singing ability of the person who sings this song. I didn't hear a single breath change throughout. Drunk to this extent, surprisingly, there was not a single mistake in pitch accuracy. Somehow Qiwei suddenly thought of when she was forcefully kissed. Just now I couldn't help but tighten my originally crossed legs. His eyes fell on the little wolf dog like fire. Beside her, Tang Yan and Lu Shishir are also the same. Also staring out of the glass with dazzling eyes. I don't even know what I'm thinking. Although they are usually the most dignified in front of the camera. But privately it's just the leader of the dirty army. Keep your mouth shut, that's definitely a constant stream of dirty jokes. Sometimes it makes both Yang Mi and Qiwei, a pair of experienced drivers, have to bow down. When it comes to sobriety, it may be that the fewest amount of alcohol consumed, such as Reba, can still make one more sober. But this clarity is only limited to clear eyes. The true situation is only known to herself. Just now she wanted to try to stand up, but found that she couldn't put in any effort. I don't know why my legs are a bit crispy on the platform. Sili suddenly paused. After a hurried ramble, 3 struggling words on the edge of the broken sound echoed through the entire hall. Because. For. Me. I don't know. Immediately after, accompanied by the super emphasis of the drum and bass, there was another meal. Can I still meet you in the next life? That's why I will only work so hard in this life. Give you the best. Even if I love you, it turns into hurting you. Our love is about to suffocate. It's not intentional, it's just too. I love you. At this moment, Sili finally opened his eyes. But if you really take it seriously, you can see that even though he opened his eyes, but the eyes are still in a state of defocus. It's just a memory, or a longing for something. After a few breaths, his gaze suddenly relaxed. Not intentional, just too. Love you. The whole hall is completely silent. Everyone is looking up at Sili. But looking up at him at this moment is not because he is the winner of any major prize. What kind of benefits will he bring to everyone? But because of that song just now. Because of this song, it has awakened the most unwilling corner in the hearts of countless people. Woo-woo. My ex-boyfriend used to be like this to me, but I lost him. My 10 years of hard work cannot match a month's worth of heavenly descent. Damn it. Qiang, Yao Yao, Jin, Lan, Fei, Rong, Ying, Lan, are you all doing well? Ding. Congratulations to the host for triggering the worship effect for the first time. Charm value, +10, stamina value, +3, Ding, no one can expect to step out of the ultimate suppression cloud. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the voice of suppression. High-end hunters must appear in the form of prey. Congratulations to the host for obtaining persist in not venting, take one step to the stomach. At the end of the song, this series of warning sounds sounded in Sili's mind. However, he didn't even hear it. Sili had no idea how he got back to the private room. He remembered that since he sat down, countless hands had been caressing him. There are also several particularly tempting voices constantly calling out to themselves. Young master, come here. Sister, I have something to ask you. In a daze, Sili opened his eyes again and saw the princess with short hair, sitting sideways on the coffee table. Young master. Oh, take me for someone else's, big or small. Don't call me young master. Call me Stand. Before he could finish speaking, he felt his mouth being blocked by something. What? Inverted heavenly gang. What a joke. I am the one who pays. I should be playing with you guys. I'm not here for you to play. Wait for me to come back to my senses again. His left and right have already been occupied by 2 short-haired women. On the left is the seductive short-haired woman in a fiery red dress with legs crossed. On the right is a charming and boneless woman named Sha Xian. A line of lyrics came to Sili's mind unconsciously. Short-haired women can also be sexy and cute. Thinking about for some reason, he just sang it out. Dead, I don't change my sex. Unfortunately, I dare not force myself to love. Short-haired woman. It can also be sexy and cute. P.S. New book release, Seeking Flowers, Seeking Review Tickets, Monthly Tickets. Yenzu, let's just say that someone hasn't read it. The comment section is clean and lacks any motivation. Chapter 008. Sili is missing. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. At this moment, Sili, who was leaning on both sides, was completely unaware that what he was holding was not an 800 or 5,000 princess at all, but a 7-Wei and a Qiwei. These two women in the entertainment industry are both considered to be beauties. Short-haired women, sexy and cute. Isn't this what I'm singing for myself? Qiwei hugged Sili's arm and felt the strong male hormones emanating from him. For a moment, I really felt like I was going weak all over. In fact, no matter what, there are corresponding rules. Qiwei thought to herself. Although he originally belonged to Yang, but if he can satisfy himself tonight, I don't mind using my own network and resources to help him. Singing so well, the image and physique are also above the top level. I'm sure I want to expand into the industry, right? Although Qiwei seems to like pretending to behave quite recklessly, but in reality, she is more unrestrained than she appears, even more unrestrained. She broke up with her previous boyfriend and has been single for nearly 10 years now. In these 10 years, she has had 8 out of 10 little wolf dogs. But no one can rely solely on appearance and singing, without taking any action to make her moist. On the left, Qiwei, who was tightly embraced by Sili's arm, now only had the last shred of rationality left. She's even more muddy than Qiwei. Accidentally, Qiwei's eyes touched Tang Yan and Teacher Lu. As sisters, the three naturally know each other's hidden secrets. Yes. That's right. On the surface, all three of them are model wives who have a happy marriage and are well known in the industry. But their suffering can only be endured by themselves when the door is closed. Qiwei and her husband have never been in sync. After all, both of them have different nationalities. Not to mention Tang Yan, she can count the number of times she and her husband have seen each other throughout the year with just one hand. Lu Shishir can often be with her husband. But her husband is 17 years older than her. Even if it's just being together every day, it's useless. Alcohol can infinitely amplify a person's desires, so at this moment 3 top-tier model wives in the entertainment industry who had already become drunk cats almost reached some kind of agreement with their eyes in an instant office of the general manager of the bar. Chi-Chi behind the desk is watching tonight's flowing water. Suddenly, the office door opened. Sister. Chi-Chi's eyebrows furrowed slightly. But only after seeing the person coming clearly did it ease down. Because the person who came was her younger brother, who was also Qiwei's cousin, Qi Haoming. Haoming, you've already become the music director on the show, why are you so reckless? Sister. Qi Haoming quickly ran to his desk. Who was that man who came out to sing in Big Sister's private room just now? Do you know each other? Chi-Chi's expression froze for a moment, and then she exclaimed curiously, what's wrong with him? Don't you know that yet? Qi Haoming immediately took out his phone. Click on Douyin short video. Then he put his phone on his desk and said, the song this person just sang exploded. Whether it's singing skills or lyrics and music, they are all top-notch. I just inquired around and found that no one in the circle knew him. That's why I ran over to ask you. Just as he was speaking. On the phone screen, the video has already started playing. It was the video of Sili singing on the platform just now. The viewing angle should be taken by a customer in the lobby on the first floor. Although only half an hour has passed at this time, the likes of the video have exceeded 100,000 plus. There are also thousands of comments. As the video played, Slina's heart-wrenching voice also sounded at the same time because. For me. I don't know. After watching it, Qiwei was directly immersed in it and confused until she regained her senses. She never understood. What? Isn't this the little wolf dog that Miss Me found? What's going on? Can singing be sung like this? Sister, is this person a friend of big sister? If so, can you discuss with the older sister and let her friend appear on my program? I also know that big sister is with him. Qiwei's words were not finished yet. Just interrupted by a burst of phone ringtones. Ringing bells. She picked up her phone and saw that it was Qiwei calling. Big sister did it. Haoming also saw it. Can you help me? Ask. Qiwei nodded and then answered the phone. Sister. Ah, there's something in the room. Do you want a presidential suit? Okay, I'll arrange it. I'll call your bodyguard later and ask her to take you up the privacy elevator. It's absolutely safe. Just as he hung up the phone, Haoming approached with a curious expression on his face. What is the situation? Qiwei raised her eyebrows unilaterally and gave him a, you understand, look. Alright, let's talk about your program tomorrow. People, they can't run away. P.S. New book release, Seeking Flowers, Seeking Review Tickets, Monthly Tickets. Yenzu, let's just say that someone hasn't read it. The comment section is clean and lacks any motivation. Chapter 009. Who's wrong again? Who's the dog? You are listening at novelfull.audio. This night, Sili had a long dream. And there was also a strange voice in his dream that always sounded in his mind. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the first phase of the side quests and unlocking the popular icon with tens of thousands of people. Reward. Charm plus 20, Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the second phase of the side quest and unlocking the 100,000 popularity icon, reward. Appearance plus 50, Ding, activate hidden tasks, hunting park, congratulations to the host for their first successful hunt in the amusement park, hunting map difficulty. 1 star, number of prey in the amusement park. 6, number of prey captured. 3, struggle level of prey. 1 star, counterattack strength of prey. 5 stars, number of prey tamed. 3, number of unconscious prey. 3, obtaining hidden reward. Tang Chen's first-class river view room, the next day. As soon as Sili opened his eyes in a daze, he felt like he was spinning around in circles. This feeling of splitting headache must be a hangover from drunkenness. However, just as he was about to raise his hand and rub his temples, he felt something soft pressing down on his arm. Looking sideways, a delicate and beautiful face immediately caught his eye. Sili frowned slightly and pondered. Although he was drunk enough, he was also fragmented. But he can still remember what happened before the fragment. Am consumed. I feel so satisfied with my extravagance. I also touched and sang. My hand addiction is already over. Mouth addiction seems like I'm singing by myself, right? Hiss, it's something at this critical moment. Why can't I remember anything? How did you get to the hotel yourself? Sili felt the soft mattress beneath him, feeling the sound coming from the bend of my arm again. This princess, why does it look a bit familiar? However, just as he was about to take a closer look, the princess spoke. A slightly neutral voice emanated from her delicate lips. Dog, be good. The fare is in the bag, take it yourself. Sili. What does that mean? His mind is a bit uneasy at this moment. But aside from everything, this voice is really tempting. But who played with who? Am I the one who spends money? Lying trough. Is this okay? However, just as he was about to prove it with facts, he suddenly realized that a dreamy voice sounded from his right side again. Stop messing around, good boy, go to bed for a while longer. Hiss, take a nap. 5,000 yuan each, that's only 15,000 yuan. I can't sleep a little. 3 hours later. In the living room of the presidential suite. Sili looked at the 3 top-tier imperial sisters across the street with their legs crossed. Lost in contemplation. What probability? What probability is this? Feeling and singing, walking into the wrong room, treating 6 top-tier celebrities as princesses. Not only did I really get started and also included hiss at this moment, a mechanical synthesized sound suddenly rang out in his mind. Ding, unlock Hunt Collection Medal, successfully open Prey Collection Map, current collection progress 3/5, do you want to view the map? Yes/no, this voice. Sili blinked his eyes. System. Come on, open the map for me. As soon as the words fell, something resembling a photo album appeared before Sili's eyes. To be honest, he is not really curious about the word system. Because he himself is a traveler. It's just that he was just wearing attire back then. Over time, even he forgot that he was a traveler. In addition, this world called Blue Star has a 99% similarity to the former Earth. He has already integrated into if it weren't for the system prompt sound in my mind at this moment. I'm afraid he can't remember it yet. After reading the map, Sili's lips couldn't help but curl up. Why? Because if my dog system had awakened for a while, could I still play with a woman deeply? Can you still hang yourself from a tree? I have been galloping my horse for a long time. No. It should be said that thousands of horses have been galloping for a long time. Because the prey in this collection chart is not anything else. It is precisely at this moment that the top 3 actresses in the entertainment industry are sitting in front of him. Come on, come on. Dog system, please give me a beginner gift pack first. Ding. The activation golden egg has been activated and the reward has been distributed. Please open the personal properties panel to view reward records. Upon hearing these words, Sili was taken aback. But then he immediately said in his mind, open uncle's panel. Name. Sili, age. 28, charm value. 234, peak for ordinary people. 100, natural appearance value. 310, peak for ordinary people. 100, stamina value. 189, peak for ordinary people. 100, body value. 200, peak for ordinary people. 100, currently possessing buff skills. Soul level emotions bring into the voice, suppress the sound, persist in not venting, and take 1 step to the stomach, currently possessing proactive skills. Hall level singing ability, task details. Hidden, reward record. Hidden, at this moment, there was only one idea in Sili's mind. That's it, walking the kidneys. In the future, it is necessary to have a special kidney transplant. Who is more distracted? Who is the dog? P.S. New book release, Seeking Flowers, Seeking Review Tickets, Monthly Tickets. Yenzu, let's just say that someone hasn't read it. The comment section is clean and lacks any motivation. Chapter 010. Visible Changes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the moment when this idea first emerged, the system prompt sound has arrived again. Ding, sensing a change in the host's mindset, the first phase of the main mission, luring prey, begins. Task description. Collect 10 prey in the form of luring. After completing the task, open various shopping malls, first stage task reward. 10 consecutive draws of gold cards. Returning to his senses, Sili no longer had the same level of unease in his heart as before. Instead, it is a kind of confidence that should be described as a joke. No matter who you are. Regardless of whether you are a top tier or a playboy. For him at this moment, these are all prey. And these 3 in front of me are still the prey I have successfully hunted. This psychological shift in status is definitely visible to the naked eye. At least for now. Whether it's Qiwei, the external beauty, or the ultimate contrast of a female man in her heart. Or it could be Qinlan, a top-tier imperial sister who is as familiar as a tiger. It's still Tang Yan, this seemingly silly and sweet sweetheart who actually pollutes the sky. They all looked at Sili with a look of obsession in their eyes. Too handsome. Too strong. This man, it's really at this moment, the three of them suddenly couldn't think of any words that could describe Sili. In terms of appearance, Sili has left behind hundreds of popular young people in the entertainment industry. In terms of body shape, that exaggerated waist-to-shoulder ratio, that perfect body, is completely a superhero template. In terms of ability, these three women have too much say. Everything this man does, enough to make any man in the world feel inferior. Still the kind of person who can feel inferior just by listening. It's not an exaggeration to say. They only found out last night why countless people, even if they risk their own lives, want to climb to the highest peak in the world. Because the feeling of reaching the peak and standing at the top of the clouds is unparalleled. Ringing bells. The ringing of the phone disrupted the quiet atmosphere in the living room at this moment. The three women also regained their senses from their obsession and started searching. It's Qiwei's phone. After seeing that the caller ID showed her younger sister Qiqi, she didn't hesitate to answer. Qiqi. On the show. At this moment, Sili was staring intently at his spoils of war. And he found that Tang Yan, who was previously the tallest, blushed at this moment. And under his gaze, it became increasingly red. Sili first gave a teasing smile, then turned his gaze to Qianlan, the top imperial sister. And Qianlan, the imperial sister, can be said to have completely concealed her satisfaction. Seeing Sili looking at herself, she responded with a bold seductive glance. For this imperial sister, if we use 4 words to describe, that's bone seduction. Sili raised his hand and hooked his fingers at Qianlan, then patted his own leg. Signal her to come and sit on her lap. This scene was naturally seen by Tang Yan and Qiwei. Although Qiwei was answering the phone, she instinctively raised a smile on her eyebrows, as if a nerve had twitched. Tang Yan lightly bit the corner of her lips, as if she had thought of something. Qianlan didn't hesitate at all, just stood up and walked with cat steps towards Sili. Then he raised his hand and wrapped it around his neck while sitting sideways. At this point, it can be seen that Qianlan is a fairy who knows how to seduce people. Call me over. Qianlan leaned her small face against Sili's ear and exhaled like a orchid, saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Sili raised his eyebrows and said, "Are you okay? And just now, you didn't even say, hello, to me." Women like Qianlan really understand when they are most charming. At this moment, he listened to the man in front of him, this kind of oath of sovereignty-like words. Although she was well aware, she could no longer extricate herself. But still choose to be tough first. "So. If you don't say it, I'll leave now." As he spoke, he prepared to sit up directly. How could Sili possibly comply with this kind of easy-to-get trick? So he didn't say a word. Direct probe. A long kiss is delivered. For a long time lip division, Sili then raised his hand and patted Qianlan's buttocks, saying in a faint tone, "I have smoke in my pocket, in the bedroom. You go get it for me." After hearing this, Qianlan playfully blinked and said, "Respect, my little husband." Then he stood up and walked towards the bedroom. Hiss this fairy. Just as Sili was about to call Tang Yan, who was foolish and sweet, over. Qiwei spoke up. She put down her phone and looked at Sili, "That. So. For a moment she actually doesn't know how to call Sili Heyo. On the first day, 10 chapters are presented. However, the data is quite impressive. If you all like and enjoy reading this kind of brainless and refreshing article, then it would be great to have some data support to give me some motivation to continue coding.